watching Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai, working from home. And in this work from home era, we've seen the giant Google, several of its product offerings facing an outage. You know, these are the really big ones: Google Meet, Gmail, GooglePay, YouTube, all of them seeing outages in several countries like in Europe, US, even in Canada, and of course back home in India. Let me go across to Saket Modi from Lucideus, who's joining us on this developing story. Hi Saket, it's Nayantara. Always great to have you on the show. It's a developing story. Different users around the world seeing different messages pop up on whether it's Google search or on YouTube. There clearly seems to be a problem, and simultaneously now reports are suggesting that the outage has been fixed as well. You know, you do hear about outages, but this is Google that we're talking about, and it seems to have been on now for almost 45 minutes.
Nayantara, again, always a pleasure to be with you on this show, so thank you for having me. You're absolutely right. Google, in a lot of ways, is today, I would say, one of the key pillars on which the internet stands. And Google going down is not something which is good. Not just from a productivity perspective. Remember, there's a huge dependence on Google when it comes to the confidentiality, integrity of the internet as such, right? So, yes, Google has come back, and now you can log in, and now you can do whatever you want with it. But the more important aspect would be, why did it go down? Was it a breach? Was it some kind of a hacker which switched on or switched off certain of their CDNs or their load balancers or their servers, which would be the key servers, through which you access everything which is around that? Having said that, this is not the first time, Nayantara, that this has happened. In fact, in July, if you remember, there was a huge outage with Cloudflare, which is one of the most important, CDNs out there. And because of the impact with Cloudflare, you actually had even Gmail at that time, because even that uses Cloudflare for doing some kind of filtering of traffic that comes to Gmail. Along with that, you had Amazon and, Facebook and T-Mobile and Venmo, Verizon, all of their websites were actually down for some time. So it's nothing new which has happened, but then it's not, with Google, given its scale and size of what it can operate it and handle, this is new directly happening to Google, and we definitely wait for the explanation from their side on what caused this. Nayantara.
So it could be something as simple as, not simple, but something as simplistic as having too many users, the load sharing, for example, that you talked about?
I actually don't think it's going to be users, Nayantara, because typically what happens is that when you talk about the spike in the number of users, and especially when you look at the time, it's not Christmas, it's not Diwali, it's not the Black Friday sale. And at the same time, typically for these services like the Google Meets and the Gmails of the world, you don't see a sudden spike. And typically a company like the shape and size of Google, you would typically have a bandwidth anywhere between 2 to 5x to handle the load of what you would currently have. Considering, obviously it will have its own infrastructure on Google Cloud, and the scalability would be there to a very large extent. I don't think it's going to be the usage which throttled the whole thing. I think it'll be more technical, on something going wrong, some production servers going wrong, some DevOps engineers screwing somewhere, which is all okay. I mean, I'm saying that all that happens all the time, but I don't think it's going to be users, Nayantara.
Okay, so let's wait for Google's explanation and what exactly has gone down, and if in fact has been fixed in all domiciles. Always a pleasure talking to you, Saket. Thanks so much for joining us here on this developing story.